Tech isn't just for engineers anymore. It's a platform for everyone, women or men, to break barriers and lead innovation. But are we taking the right steps to get started in programming? Welcome to PhD with Woman on It, Hack the Future. My name is Beata Young, and today's PhD Positivity Hack Delivered will be by our guest Ufonabazi Umo. Topic: Tech meets passion, a path to mastering JavaScript, React, and more. Episode 182 starts here. Let me remind you, this is a grassroots community that focuses on women on IT, an inclusive forum of women in technology, startups, and female leaders who are supported by men as well. And I bring heart to that hustle because empathy is my mojo, and empathy is critical when you're meeting your passion. Java, React, all these languages can be confusing to somebody who never tried any language. Join us for this Positivity Hack Delivered with Ufonabazi Umo, an award-winning front-end developer and associate software engineer. With over 3 years of experience in React, JavaScript, TypeScript, AWS, and AA, ML, she is passionate about diversity and inclusion in tech and mentoring the next generation of developers. Whether you are a beginner or looking to level up your coding skills, Ufon's journey and tips will help you build a strong foundation in front-end development. From HTML and CSS to JavaScript and React, she will guide you through the essentials and how to get started on the right path. Ufon, where in the world are you joining us from today?
Hi, I'm joining you from Glasgow, Scotland. Nice to meet you, Peter.
Beautiful Glasgow, beautiful location. However, you were originally born in Nigeria. Tell us about that background.
Oh yeah, I'm currently, I was born in Nigeria, particularly from the state, Akwa Ibom State. It's a relatively small state in Nigeria, blessed with oil, crude oil. But yeah, it's a neat group of people where we speak diverse language too. Like personally, where I'm from, I speak Ibibio, but there are other languages like Anang or like Oron. I mean, they're different languages altogether, but yeah, we are quite close knit of people. You could relatively say, but yeah, it's really a beautiful state. Really, a lot of people that whenever they go there, they are like, it's sort of like the most beautiful and like the cleanest states in Nigeria. So,
And I have to say that you've got the staple of your continent, which is beautiful smile. I was just in Kenya the other month, and everybody greeted us with this beautiful smile. So your journey is already so inspiring, Ufan. An award-winning developer championing diversity. Tell me, was there a specific moment, maybe a challenge or a breakthrough where you knew deep in your spirit that technology wasn't just a career path, but your passion, your way to make a difference?
yeah, there was one particular moment. I think that was when I was in my 100 level in school, where I went for a meetup. My friend Habib invited me for a meetup, and I was given like this kind of small Android puzzle to fix together, and it picked up my interest in programming because, and then after that, he wrote like a little code on like the computer, and he generated something that was quite impressive for me. So I saw it and I was like, what's this and how does this work? And he was like, oh yeah, these are languages that they use to produce or rather develop apps on my phone. I was like, really? That's like something very impressive. And that simple fact picked up my interest in programming. So I started with Android programming and then I proceeded further to web development because I am a visual learner and I would like to see things that I build and to interact with it. And I felt like front end engineering was something that I could visibly see and tell and enjoy. So from there, he was like, my friend Habib told me that, oh, there are different languages that I could learn, like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is something I would like to do. And I did. And it was quite fascinating because I came from like not really a technical background because I studied surveying and geoinformatics in school. So that doesn't really have anything to do with computer science or anything. So it was quite challenging for me trying to combine studying surveying and also learning software engineering. But I had quite a supportive people like my parents and my friends and my classmates back then in school. They were extremely supportive and it was really nice to see the support that I could have. And they really pushed me quite further to my journey to being a software engineer. So yeah, I think that was like my turning point. And also with surveying, it's quite a physical tasking job. So, I mean, it has to do with you going to different places to go and take measurements. And I did it once and I was like, I don't think this is what I would like to spend the rest of my life doing. I just would like to have a kind of easy life, not so easy, or software engineering is not that easy. It takes a lot of your mental um, thinking and reasoning. But I found something a little bit less physical tasking, and that was software engineering for me, and that's why I diverted to that route. And it was quite wonderful to see that my parents could support me as much as they did, and they are quite pivotal to my growth today. So yeah.
That's another beautiful trait of your country. We met some young lady, and she was also very grateful to her parents for letting her study. But let's go back to our discussion about technology. We hear about HTML being the foundation, the absolute starting point. You know, it's fascinating. The very first web page ever created back in 1991 is still online today. Just simple text and links. For
Yeah.
someone looking at the blank screen for the first time, feeling maybe a little intimidated, how do you help them see HTML as not as code, but well, as a building blocks for their own digital dream?
Okay, for someone that is like a very complete beginner, someone that doesn't know what exactly he or she is doing, I would first of all let the person know that HTML is like it's like the skeleton. For example, I will use the illustration of the human body where you have the skeleton, you have the muscles, and you have like the physical appearance where we have our body. So the HTML is basically like our skeleton. It's like it's just bones, you know, there's nothing. It's just standalone. If you were to dissect our body and to see all our skeletons, you just see bones all through. So basically that's what the HTML is for the web when it comes to um web development. It's just basically what you see. There's no beauty to it. You just see text and um you just see different things. You can see a form that doesn't have any what's the call any design to it, and it doesn't have any functionality. But yeah, I think that was like the most simplest way I can explain HTML to the person. Basically, HTML helps developers or rather people, normal people like us, to be able to structure what we have on our websites. It's basically the starting point for everybody, quite honest. So far as and when it comes to web development, it's like the baby, and you have to treat it
Baby.
properly. Yeah.
Then comes CSAS and making things visually pop. It's like picking out the perfect outfit, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's like basically you could call it that. Or picking the best design for your cars, or it's like picking the best um uh design for like your salad, you know, all the colors that you put on your mayonnaise and all your whatever in your salad, all your dressing.
Uh-huh.
That's basically CSS for you. It makes your HTML look more pleasing to the eye. It's like life. It's like butterflies to plants. I don't know if that's or rather flowers to like trees. You know, it makes it more beautiful. It makes it more appealing to your eye. It's like for example, the human body once again. When you have your skeleton, It's just there. But when you put your natural flesh on like the skeleton, you'll see something way more beautiful. You just see something way more pleasing to the eye. So basically that's what CSS is. It's just styles. It's just adding styles to your CSS, rather to your HTML. So
So,
yeah,
what's
that's
a common frustration you can see beginners face with CSS? And what's your aha moment advice for making peace with positioning and styling?
okay. One of the common issues or other challenges that I noticed a lot of beginners face, most especially me, when I started, I had a lot of issues with responsiveness, because I mean it's okay for you to build. It's very easy for you to build your web applications or your website sites for like your laptop screen, but then when it goes smaller than your laptop screen, when it goes to like the iPad size, or when it goes to like your phone size, it becomes like a whole different ball game. So oftentimes we beginners don't really know where the breakpoint is, where the media queries are supposed to start from. So it gets quite kind of confusing. But there's what we call there's an inspector tool on the browser that I personally use. So on your inspector tool on your Chrome browser, you can find like different widths of either phone, either laptops, and you could reduce your screen size to what it is, like the screen size that you're building for. Like for example, if you're building for a phone, let's take for example for an iPhone, you could start the media query size from like 420 to 720 pixel. That's normally for iPhones, or towards like iPads, some iPads. And then for some iPads, going from 720 to like 1040 pixel, that's for the iPad size. And also for laptops, you have from like 120, 120 and 4 to 10204 to like 140 pixel. That's for like the laptop size. And then when it goes further, because technology has advanced so much further than just your laptop screen, you now have like a 30-inch or like a 40-inch monitor size, even to a TV size, because nowadays you could view things on like a TV. And there are different media query breakpoints for each of them. And a lot of beginners fail to recognize that all these things are the most basic things that you're supposed to know as a beginner. It's not just about styling. It's about building things that can be viewed on different screens and making them responsive enough for different users. So yeah, I would advise them to actually focus on media queries. That's like very important of
Well,
everything.
and now let's move into JavaScript, the engine that makes everything happen on a web page. Fun fact, Brendan A. supposedly created the first version of JavaScript in just 10 days. Can you believe that? But for many learners, this is where the path gets steep. Walk me through your first encounters with JavaScript. Was it love at first sight?
Technically, my first encounter with JavaScript was, I wouldn't say it was love at first sight, because I was so comfortable using just HTML and CSS. I mean, they were just static pages that didn't need any functionality. So I was way more comfortable with that. But when I realized that it's more than static, I need to be able to send and receive data, on my web page. It became quite tasking for me because it wasn't something I was familiar with. But with JavaScript over time, I was able to be able to understand what exactly the need or the essence of JavaScript was for. And technically, I started with jQuery before I even moved on to JavaScript. People no longer use jQuery anymore, but jQuery was nice. I liked it. It was easy, but moving on to JavaScript, it has quite some similarities, jQuery and JavaScript, but JavaScript was quite interesting. It was a bit difficult for me to learn personally, but over time I became used to it. Because with programming, you have to continuously use your programming language over time, like continuously, at least 1 hour per day. I mean, that's the only way that you could technically get used to it, quite honest. And Yeah, JavaScript was nice. I'm not sure if it was love at first sight though.
Now, React, developed by the folks at Facebook, it became such a powerhouse in front-end development. Your
Mhm.
goal is helping people get a bit comfortable with it. What does that feel like? What does it mean, a bit comfortable?
To become a bit comfortable with React would mean for you to understand the basics and why you would even use React in the first place. I mean, when it comes to websites and web applications, I mean, categorically, they are quite different. Websites doesn't need a lot of system designing or the system programming that you would necessarily require for like React applications. React application is way more broader. It's like, how do I say? It's like moving from like and what's it called, from a teenager to like a full grown adult. I think that's the way I could explain it. It's like moving from a teenager to like a full grown adult. That's from me moving from HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to like React in itself. I mean, you could say that React is like a comparison, like it contains everything, quite honest. It contains HTML, CSS, and JavaScript all together in one. So you have to know all of them, all the basics before you like move completely towards React in order for you to be able to be comfortable with mastering React. I mean, over time, and the problem with React is that, at least that I face, is that over time things get updated over time. So you have to keep on learning every single time, every single year. So what you learned like 2 years ago has probably been updated. So you have to start not necessarily all over again, but you have to start from somewhere so that you won't lose track of what you learned and your applications won't break, because you're obviously dealing with something that is way more bigger than what you were comfortable with, which was building just websites. And yeah, so I help people to understand that React is a very interesting language, and it's used to build different web applications. Like you can do anything with React. Quite honest, it's really nice.
So React is like adulthood, right? Every day you wake up and you have to face challenges.
Yeah. Yeah.
Working on your analogy, so you encourage breaking things, challenges into smaller chunks of information. When you faced a problem that felt overwhelming, what teeny first step unlocked the path forward for you?
Okay, for me, how I solve problems is to understand the problem, because you cannot solve a problem that you naturally do not understand. So at least try to break it down to simpler English. At least I try to break it down to simpler English for me to understand. For example, if I was given a task to build a sign up page and I did not know how to go about it, or maybe the authentication was not working as it was supposed to, it was buggy, I will first of all find out what exactly I did wrong, or where I even started from, what was the issue that I made, and I will break it down from there. Because quite honest, bugs and or issues or problems in programming can be very frustrating, and oftentimes developers spend quite a lot more time debugging than, than actually writing code when it comes to legacy code bases. But if I were to first face a problem that was very difficult and challenging for me, I will first of all copy whatever error it was and check on Google if someone has actually experienced this kind of error before, because there's Stack Overflow that you can see different issues. I mean, I don't think there's any programming issues that or errors that will come up today that someone has not experienced before. So first of all, ask Google if this error has occurred before somewhere. And if it has, you then read through what people have written down, and then you then find solutions. Or with the introduction of AI these days, you can just ask Copilot, or you can ask Gemini, or you can ask ChatGPT. I mean, there are different AI solutions to help you to help resolve issues these days, so that you won't have to spend so much time trying to debug and trying to resolve issues that you can easily solve with AI. It's quite interesting.
Before we go into AI, ML, let's go into this path of you bringing more women into technology. So if there is a girl somewhere in Nigeria or Kenya or Uganda, wherever she is, what would be your advice? How to break into tech and how to break into this excitement world of global connectivity? You're now living in Glasgow. You may move somewhere else. You're a global citizen. Would you call yourself that?
I mean, I wouldn't call myself a global citizen yet, but the advice I would give to a small girl, like let's take for example, if that was me like 10 years ago, I would say study what you want to study. It's not necessary that you should study computer science or anything. Like, take for example, I did not do that. But if you actually want to break into tech, you should actually take your time to understand the foundation, understand HTML, especially front end engineering, understand HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Because once you understand your foundation, every other thing becomes secondary. Like it becomes like a walk through a park for you. You just understand things way more easily when once you understand your foundation. Because with a solid foundation, you can move on to learn many other programming languages. And also, you should the girl should try to reach out to people that are already established into whatever area of specialization that she wants to get into. I mean, I would like to hope that a lot of senior people or software engineers are a bit more open to speaking to the younger ones, especially I am, when I get the chance to. But try to connect with people that are already there where you are and also learn your foundation. It's very important, to be honest. The foundation is too important. And don't wait until you know everything. Apply for roles that you see. Even if it's a free internship, apply for it. Go for it. Because no matter how much learning that you try to do by yourself, if you don't apply your learning to building real life projects, it's going to be very difficult for you to understand how the real life works. So you have to apply for different internships or different roles and try to apply your knowledge there. Because with you applying more, or rather, with you working, you gain more knowledge and you get to implement what you learned in theory. You get to see for yourself how users interact with the things that you build. So don't just wait until you're 100% ready. Or if you fit a job description, apply for it. If you fit like 50 or 40%, apply for it. Let the recruiter tell you no before telling yourself no. So don't hold yourself back and always ask questions. Quite honest, as beginners, ask questions. Even if you think that your question doesn't make sense, just ask. And always ask Google too, because Google is your friend as a software engineer. That's like the number one advice I got. Always ask Google. And with the introduction of AI now, also ask AI. Your life has been made way more easy. So yeah, I think that was what I would say.
Well, your journey's been remarkable. So your network opened doors at JP Morgan and beyond. What was the mentor or peer who saw your potential before you did?
I think I would say, ironically, my father, because he saw. I mean, let's go back to history. When I was 8 years old, my dad bought this laptop, or rather this computer, this big back computer, and he installed Mavis Beacon at that time. But my brothers used to use it to play game like GTA or Need for Speed. But I was always making use of the Mavis Beacon to use and type. And he saw that I had an interest with computers, and he knew that this was something I would possibly find interesting. So over times, whenever I would go to school and I would pass, and then the results would come out at like the last term, and he was always so particular about my computer science or my data processing and I think computer science subjects. He always knew that I will always get an A in that course, and it was quite interesting because when I moved on to university, he just didn't really care about like the courses that were pertaining to like my surveying and geoinformatics. He would just check my results and then he'll be like, computer science, obviously, that's an A as usual. So I think he was the first person that saw it. And every time I would request for a laptop, he was always eager to get one for me. It was quite interesting because he saw that there was like a journey and there was a career for me there, and he was quite supportive all through and through. And yeah, I would think he is one of them. And also my friend Habib Bombata and Wole Adebayi, those two guys were quite pivotal to my journey into software engineering. They helped me and they gave me courses to learn, and they kept on checking on me to see how my progress was, quite honest. And it was quite interesting to see other people were more interested in my career than I was, because at that time I was still trying to balance school, and it was quite difficult for me to try to balance my studies and also learn software engineering. But they were like, calm down, it's something I can do. It's something that they believe that I could do. And I'm glad that they really did push me. And also my mom was also
Kudos to you. Well, you were named a rising star at the Scotland Women in Technology Awards this year.
yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you.
This is really great news for somebody who's been working, moving to Scotland 3 years
Yeah.
ago, right? But we know success stories always have chapters filled with grit. Can you share a time on your journey, maybe early or even recently, where you faced a self-doubt?
Okay, let me say on the day when I got the award, I'm going to use that one as an example. On the day that I got the award last year, I didn't know that I was going to get. In fact, in my mind, I knew that I wasn't going to get it. But there was something in my mind that told me to ask ChatGPT to write to write a winning speech for me, and I did. And then when it was time for them to call the winner, I was I was out of it. I didn't even think that it was going to be. I was expecting to be one of my the other contenders, and when I heard my name, I did not know what was going on. I just could not believe that it was me. And my manager was there, and I just stood up and I just started crying because I had quite a lot of self doubt because I did not think it was going to be me. In a million years, I never even thought that it was going to be me, quite honest. And every day when I walk, quite a lot of imposter syndrome happens, quite honest. I don't think anybody has ever gotten over imposter syndrome because it happens when you grow. It happens when you're trying something new. So every day when I go to work, I have imposter syndrome because I'm going there to go and try something new and I'm going there to go and learn something new, which is something I've never known before. So I don't think it ever stops, and I don't think it's something I could ever overcome, at least for the meantime, for now, at least.
Well, darling, you just embrace that glory. You are worth it. I'm just wondering because I learned when I was traveling in Kenya that there are secret meaning to the names, and I'm wondering if your Ufonabazi means growth in disguise or something about growth.
No, my name means importance of God. Actually, that's what it means. And I asked my dad why exactly he gave me that name, and it was like, no, on the year that I was born, or when I was born, he got his car, and it was like, yeah, that signifies that there's God. I mean, and God is really important in his life. So yeah, that's what
There
it is.
you go. You're a goddess. Ufan, you soft skills like communication are a secret weapon in tech. Can you share a moment when emotional intelligence turned a tense team dynamic into a breakthrough?
Yeah, I think, in fact, um, emotional intelligence is one of the great qualities that all software engineers should understand, because when you are emotionally intelligent, you build products that cater to like different people and not just you. For example, I would say that. So, I mean, when you have emotional intelligence and when you also have confidence together, it helps you to be able to communicate to your teammates in different languages. At least you understand where they are coming from, and you also sound more intellectually correct because you could see things from other people's point of view and you could feel their emotions, and it's not just yours alone and yours for you to consider. So it broadens your perspective, in communicating with your teammates and with your shareholders or your product managers. It just makes you a better person, quite honest, because people would be more attractive to you and attentive to you. So yeah.
Beautiful. Mentorship is clearly close to your heart. JP Morgan, Code for Good Generation Tech. I believe so strongly that when you lift others, you raise yourself. What happens inside you when you see the spark ignite in a young person you are mentoring?
It's beautiful to see, quite honest. It's lovely to see. It's a beautiful sight every time when I mentor young people, because young people are very curious. They always ask questions, and oftentimes some questions I don't have answers to, but that pushes me further to go and research more and to be able to answer them next time. But yeah, it's just nice to mentor the younger generations, and it's good to impact on other people. I mean, that's the whole purpose of living, for you to transfer your knowledge to other people. Else, how are you going to learn? So yeah, yeah. So it's really nice.
So we have people watching right now. You mentioned AI and ML. So I'm wondering, how is it helping? You mentioned sometimes it helps you finding a bug. Sometimes it helps you writing a thank you speech. So what are the best examples you could bring us today to convince those who are unconverted to really have a dig at AI ML?
Okay, so one of the examples I would use is, let's say, for example, you have a bug in your code. Like, for example, let's use the sign up illustration again, where a user is not able to sign up because there's a misspelling of an error, or of like a level or something, and you don't know where exactly that misspellation is from. Like, you don't know where you're missing it. Or you can easily ask AI, or you can ask your copilot to scan through like the whole code, to read through the whole code and be like, where is this issue coming from? I'm having this issue. This particular sign up is not working as it's supposed to. And it's going to read through your whole code, and it's going to tell you what went wrong, and it's going to recommend what exactly you can do to make it a lot more better. So AI has been here, has come to make life way more easy. Because before, like 2 years, 2 to 3 years ago, if I had any issue, I will have to copy the error and go to Stack Overflow or go to Google to go and ask, and to read through. But AI has made it much easier to read all the previous issues and errors that has been uploaded on like different web pages. And there's possibly, and it has made it so much easy that you don't have to go and do all those manual reading anymore. It just explains whatever issue that you have for you. You could even tell AI to explain what HTML is for you, and it will do that. You can even ask AI to to help you write a whole course on HTML and CSS, and it will for you. And it will explain things. It will break it down for you. If you give prompts like, explain like to like an 8-year-old child what this means, and it's going to break it down for you. Like, it makes life a lot more easy for me. I understand where people issues are with AI and having access over intellectual properties. But, and also understand where software engineers are a little bit scared of AI taking their jobs. But AI is a tool, I would like to say. It's the same way that we had the big back computers, and some people were resistant, or the telephones, the turning telephones, where people were resistant to having handheld phones. It's the same way whenever you are resistant to change. It happens either ways. So it's either you understand the way AI works and make use of it to make your life easy, or people that actually understand the way AI works and they make use of it to make your life easy are going to be the ones to take your job. So, quite honest on what I can see. So try to understand AI and try to understand the method and how it works and use it with your day-to-day life. It really makes life easy for me, quite honest. And I love using it.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, you said that you like to watch and see what is happening with Android. And Well, just to remind to those listeners who are hyping now on AI, the first AI program, Logic Theorist, was written in 1956. How do you honor pioneers while trailblazing your own path? And, how do you stay adaptable in a field that is changing almost every day?
It's quite difficult, quite honest. I think that's one of the most challenging things with tech as a whole, because you always new things every day, and you always have to learn, and you also have to add like the old practices and also with the new ones. I'm really grateful to like the founders and the all the writing founders of the AI. It's like it's something impressive that they have done, and even if they couldn't be alive, some may be alive today to see what it has evolved to. I'm really grateful for them, and to see it continuously evolve is something I am scared but also really really impressed about, because these are things that I would never have thought was possible in my entire life. I mean, look at self-driving cars, man. I didn't even think that was going to be a possibility in like 50 years, but it has, and it has happened. And quite honest, we just have to evolve with the way technology is evolving. You cannot be resistant to change, especially when it comes to technology. You just have to keep on learning, relearning every time and every year. It's quite exhausting, but it's just the career that we found ourselves in, and we have to be very adaptive to the way things work and things go.
So how do you recharge your battery, Ufon?
Oh, I play games. I play games. I take breaks and I play Fortnite with my friends. I play game every time when I can, and also watch movies, and also listen to music a lot. So yeah, I just play games, quite honest. So I take long walks. I take quite lengthy walks, an hour or maybe 30 minutes a day when I have the time. But yeah, I try to do that. I play games, I watch movies, listen to music, and I take long walks. That's the least of my recharge, and I sleep.
As a rising star, how do you balance humility with owning your achievements in a male-dominated spaces, especially when imposter syndrome whispers you don't belong?
I'm going to say I don't think I've found a balance yet. I'm not going to say I've found a balance because I'm still learning, quite honest. And the title is still like very fresh in my head. I mean, I'm a kind of person that if I should achieve something, I celebrate it a little bit and then I move on very quickly on to the next thing. So it's quite difficult to resonate that with trying to balance my humility. I would like to hope that I'm a very humble person in nature, but yeah, in respect to my male colleagues, I would like to think that, or rather, I would like to say that I work with really, really supportive and career-driven male counterparts, my colleagues. They are really, really supportive, and I don't think there's a challenge. I don't feel any competition there or in any manner or form. We all help each other like a community, because at the end of the day, you have a certain goal, a company goal that we all want to achieve. So the only thing that we have to do is to work together to try to achieve that goal. So I haven't had any problems trying to, I don't know, I don't have any problem in that area, I would like to say.
Katherine Johnson calculated Apollo 11's trajectory but was erased from history books. Only recently she was mentioned by a couple of articles, and so it's always useful to remind those around you about your achievements. We encourage you, Ufan. You've said your support system is your superpower. How do you build that tribe that has your back?
How did I build it? I would like to think that I pick my friends very carefully. I don't have a lot.
Because especially, Ufan, I'm sorry to interrupt you, given the fact that you were planted there, you knew nobody, you didn't have any family around you.
Uh, okay, again, I would like to say that I pick my friends a lot. So when I relocated here, technically I relocated with one of my other friends, Emmanuel, and I think I would like to say he was my support system for a while until I was able to find my footing. I mean, both of us were new here and in a cold country where everybody's rushing to work. But we also had like a good manager too that was able to help us to balance things out um, in the work life balance. And also, we joined this hiking group. Quite honest, we joined the hiking group to try to make new friends. And yeah, I would like to say that I joined the group in order to make in order to make new friends. Quite honest, because
I think it's the secret code is your smile, Ufon. Looking ahead, Ufon, you're already making such an impact. When you dream about the future, what do you envisage? What do you think is going to be the future of tech, future for women in diverse voices?
For the future of tech, I feel like it's going to get a lot more broader than this. We are going to have a lot more open rules for AI, for machine learning. So, and for women particularly, I would like to encourage women to actually get involved with tech. It's not just a man's thing anymore. It's not just for men. It's for everybody, and everybody can do it. It's not hard, it's not easy either. But I would love to encourage a lot more women to actually get into tech and to also push themselves to senior positions and to ask for promotions when they know that they deserve it, and to also ask for raise when they know that they deserve it. But quite honest, I think that a lot more women are going to get into technology, into tech, most especially. And I see a lot more women achieving a lot of things and building startups that get funded and also thriving. Quite honest, I would really love to see that, and I'm sure I will live to see that. So yeah, future is bright.
You and me, sister. Now, speaking of sisters, let's go to our lovely Jamil, who wants to carry on with some questions nagging the future generation of women in tech. Over to
Okay.
you, Jamil.
Thank you, Beata, for your introduction. Hello, Pon. I hope you're enjoying the conversation.
Oh yes, I am. It's really interesting.
So, before we go to our standard questions, I just want to ask, you mentioned the importance of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Sometimes starting with the basics can feel overwhelming. What advice would you give to someone overwhelmed by the amount of new information when learning something new?
Okay, I would say start small, start day by day. Rome wasn't conquered in a day. You can't learn HTML altogether in a day. At least break it down 1 hour per day, every day for a month. Give yourself space, and when you are tired, take a break, because we experience burnt out a lot in our daily job. So take 1 hour per day. Don't try to consume every information at once, because it can be quite overwhelming, and quite honest, you'll forget a lot of things when you try to do that. So what do I call it? So try to be repetitive. Like it's like continuous process. It's better for you to continuously study than for you to try to do everything all at once. Because it's a journey. It's like you have to go through different stages and understand different things. And also give yourself grace that you may not know everything, but the little that you know is more than enough. At least it's way more than, if you learn something today, is way more better than you not learning anything yesterday. So at least give yourself the grace to always show up for yourself and know that you want to get somewhere, and try to break things down. Try 1 hour daily before you try to do 5 hours daily. Just a step by step process. Don't try everything all at once.
Considering your experience and passion for encouraging others, especially women looking to break into tech or even start their own ventures within this space, What advice would you give to females to help their career or start an entrepreneurial journey?
I would say just start. That sounds very cliche, but don't wait till you have everything figured out. Don't wait till you have all the funding. Don't wait till you have this full-fledged application, or don't wait till you have this full-fledged idea that you want to put it out. Just put it out there. Let people see what you do, and also let people hear what you do. Speak about yourself. What processes that you've taken to achieve a particular thing, or for being an entrepreneur, plan out a business plan. Start out from a business plan. Talk about your business plan to different people. That way you could possibly get an investor, or speak about it to even a random stranger, someone that you just meet on the way. Be like, hi, I would like to, develop friendship and try to communicate with different people. And don't just wait until you have like a full-fledged idea in order for you to feel ready. Start from somewhere. Start from even when you don't even have an idea or when you don't even have an app. But just start. Don't wait till you have something important to achieve. But it's a journey. So yeah.
What are the top 3 soft skills all career-driven females, in your opinion, should have?
I would say communication skills is very important. I'm still learning that myself, how to communicate properly. So one thing would be communication skills and be outspoken. Fill up the space where you are. Like let your presence be known. Like when people see you, they should be able to tell that you are there. Don't just hide at a corner. Be outspoken, be visible enough, and let people know that you are there, and also let people know that you always have something to give in a room. Because when you're, for example, if you're in a room of with senior leaders, let them hear your voice at least once, and let them know that, oh, there's a girl out there that can speak fluently, and your names would obviously speak for yourself, and what you say will speak for yourself. So communication skills and boldness, and be very, very outspoken and take up space. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, it should.
What would you say is your go-to strategy when you encounter a challenging problem? Whether it's a tricky piece of code or a complex project hurdle.
Okay. I think I've answered this question before. I think Beta asked already, but I would say to break down the project, the problem, understand what it is that you are looking at. Just break it down, and break down the English, break down whatever problem it is. Then from there, I can pick it up. That's a personalized question. I can pick it up when I break things down and when I understand it in a very simple language that I could understand. And also, I can ask others. It's very important as the technologies to ask other people, to ask your colleagues if they have encountered this problem before, because it saves time. You don't just wait there and not progress further, because we all have limited knowledge. So the more you ask different people, and the more they also speak from their own side of understanding, and you're able to resolve whatever issues that you have. So yeah.
Are you working on any new exciting projects right now?
I mean, I can't say anything pertaining to work, but I would like to say, like, I have like a side project that I do to learn new things every day. So I would like to. I'm trying to build like an interesting what's it called um application for like renters. It's basically like share room, but for Africa as a country, or rather as a continent. Sorry. So it's basically like if someone has a spare room and wants to rent it out. So yeah, you could enlist your room on the platform, and then you connect. We basically connect you to the renter, and yeah, I think that's one of the most interesting projects I'm building, or rather, I'm working on right now. Yeah.
Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "Women are like tea bags. We don't know our true strength until we are in hot water." In life, how are you in hot water for? How are you brewing?
How am I in hot water? I would like to say I panic. I'm panicking in hot water. So yeah, I would like to say I'm panicking. And sometimes I always have to talk myself to calm down because there are some situations that are quite out of our control. So there's really nothing much that we can do than just to sit down and to take a step back to analyze the whole situation and not to panic so much, because when you panic so much, you really don't know how to resolve your situation, or you really don't know how far your strength goes. So I try to tell myself to calm down, to relax, to assess the situation, to think calmly. I will sleep over it oftentimes. But yeah, that's me.
What is the number one book you can sit and think, oh, I wish I read before I started my career?
I wouldn't say it's a book per se. I don't really like reading, but it's a video I watched recently. It's how to be confident even when you are not, by um what's her name, by Montana Boss Fleece, Von Fleece. I watched that video, and recently she was speaking about how to be confident, how to speak to like a group of people, even when you don't even know what you're saying. You always have to be confident, because one of the issues I have in life is speaking confidently. Oftentimes, I try to shrink myself a little bit to not be visible. But listening to her made me realize that that wasn't the way to go about things, that I will always have to be confident if I actually want to be very visible. And I'll always have to speak up and to speak as if I actually know what I'm doing. Because oftentimes, many times, I always know what I'm doing. It's just the way that I communicate things that make sure that there's like some kind of uncertainty there. So yeah, that's it.
Let's imagine that you could meet anyone in the world for a private breakfast. Who would it be and where would you choose to meet?
I would say Yanni. It's it's quite interesting that he's not a tech person, but yeah, Yanni. I will pick Yanni. I will pick, and then I would like to meet him at a Colosseum in Rome, because and then I also like to ask him to play "To Take to Hold." It's one of my favorite songs of his, and I would like to listen to it while we just sit in silence and he just plays it. And then after that, I'll just ask him how he comes up with his music, with his song, without writing a single lyrics, because it's quite interesting. And I would like to see the world through his eyes, because his sounds resonates with me a lot. So yeah, that would be Yanni.
And for our last question, can you please give us your favorite life lesson quote?
My favorite life lesson quote, I won't categorically say is a life lesson, but it's we come to love not by finding a perfect person, but by learning to see an imperfect person perfectly. And it's by Sam Keen. He's an American author and philosopher. And it's from his book To Love and to Be Loved. Fun fact, I read this quote since when I was, I think, 8 years old, and it has stuck with me for so long. It's quite impressive because I forget things quite easily. So for you to start to speak with me till now, it's quite fascinating, because it just shows how we all humans are quite imperfect in different ways, and we should try to see imperfection sometimes as perfection. So yeah, that's my.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your experiences with us, and you are amazing. It's truly inspiring to hear your perspective. And now let's bring Beata back on the screen to continue our conversation.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you, Jamil. Thank you, Ufon. Well, it lets me just segue into another great feminist icon, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie.
Yeah.
Says, your silence will not protect you. Own your story and don't be afraid to speak your truth. a bold reminder to use your voice and embrace your authenticity, no matter the setting, Ufon. And I believe we need that daily reminder in our life, because sometimes we just forget about what great achievements we reached. And that's it from episode 182 of PhD Livestream. Thank you, Ufon, for your inspiring, great stories bringing us today. To stay updated and ensure you never miss a positivity hack delivered, follow Woman on It and turn on notifications. This is a pre-recorded version of our live stream. We are going to have another pre-recorded with Hope Win next week. As always, final thoughts to you. Positivity quote comes from Positive Thinking Only and goes, look for something positive in each day, even if some days you have to look a little bit harder. Today is your day to hug the future, hug the positivity you want. Thank you.
Thank you.